All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I'm continuing this recent runner technical analysis series that I'm doing. We're going to look at Sorento and WINT. So what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages. This is the first time I'm covering the stock, so I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Nonetheless, thank you so much for being here, okay? And then if you disagree with anything, hey, let me know, okay? I'm not here pretending to know it at all or have some sort of crystal ball. I'm no guru, right? Like, I would much rather you tell me I'm wrong and correct me than watch my money get lost or miss out on a better run than I would have had. You know what I mean? So, two-way street here. So let's get into the details, okay? So I've mentioned this move on a couple videos. I don't think too often, but it's definitely a very common trading technique, okay? So on this day right here, Sorento was probably, if not for sure, like I know at least at some point, I'm going to assume when it closed as well, it was one of the top 5 losers of the day. Okay, and most places where you can trade money or look at stocks, like this thing will do it too if I ask it. It'll show the top winners and losers. And what a lot of people will do is they will watch these top losers keep going down until they get these like nice monster corrections. Because look, if you've watched enough of my videos, you know I love red. I mean, I love that. You know that, right? I especially love that if my money was not up here and I watched it go down, right? That would obviously suck. But if you know how to fish these bottom feeders, I call it a bottom feeder swing. By no means is that what it's like technically called, right? But you know, it's a fishing thing, right? Like if you can find it, it ends up being nice. And look, you know my videos. I'm less concerned about the first one, right? Because really, this very easily could have been another red one down, right? We'll kind of talk about maybe why it wasn't down here, but yeah, wait for the confirmation and ride it a bit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, again, this is a very common move that you can really do with other stocks, okay? So all that said, let's get into what actually happened, okay? Why do I love this candle so much? So the reason why it seemed like things kept going bad, and I say it often, right? At least 50% candle. Like if you're gonna dump this much, I really need you to close at least here the next day for me not to believe things are going to be horrible, right? The next day gives us this, right? So now my next expectation is, all right, at least close here. Clearly doesn't. We get here. Then it actually gaps up to 50%, right? Like you see it, right? I'm not making up these 50% rules like out of nowhere, right? So you see it actually starts here. Obviously, I care more about the close. It's easy to like be excited because we know it closes here, right? But it could have easily started here and gone down again, right? Again, it matters where it closes. And what I love is this thing closed so high that it overtook this, and started. Where did this one close? Excuse me, 26. Where did this one close? 20. Excuse me, there's the hiccup. It closed right on it, right? So my next expectation is just let's keep going up, and obviously you keep seeing it, right? Because now we're going red hunting, right? You know I love it, and that's why you just get a good green. So again, I keep saying because I'm assuming you're watching my videos often, right? But hey, this 8 moving average is really hard to get over, especially after you significantly lost it, right? So it should make a lot of sense that we would run up to it, but clearly today we lost it, right? And what sucks is how much we lost, right? We lost way more than 50% candle. We actually gapped up to here, right? It kind of seemed like we were going to take the rest of this candle. But nah, again, we definitely lose the 8, obviously, and lose what's now into this one. Oh, my cat's doing some stuff. Give me 1 second. What are you doing? Hey, let's get you out of here. What are you doing? All right. Okay, sorry about that. So, what am I looking at right now? Honestly, a couple things, okay? First and foremost, is the 8 moving average. At this point, we've gotten close enough to where this thing really needs to get over the 8 for me to really feel comfortable. This under the 8 hit is a real common move, right? And it's a good place to kind of set your stop sell, right? And yeah, you know what I mean? It clearly fails it. I'm basically looking at this right now as the next target, right? And you can see it wick down there for sure. But are we going to hold this 50%? And then are we going to hold this top right here? And I'll be drawing some lines shortly, right? But hopefully this holds. Hopefully this holds. The problem is, as much as I love these reds, this green can quickly turn all the way down if it wants to, okay? So, yeah. Let's talk about down here just a little bit, okay? So, on this day, you can see the RSI was at a 14. Do you see the box over there? Let me just kind of bring my mouse down to it right here. The RSI was 14, okay? 14 is definitely a super, super low number because I often say 30 is the bottom, right? So the fact that it dropped to 14, look, again, this could have easily gone down to single digits, right? But the last couple days after weren't that bad. It held right there, and obviously we get a little run. But look, as nice as this looks, it did absolutely nothing to the MACD. It didn't even really get the RSI peaking up even a little bit, right? So that's why a little bit of me is kind of feeling we're coming down to either here, maybe here. Honestly, maybe even as low as 22 cents to halfway of this one, right? But yeah, at this point, it failed the 8. Tested the 8, looks like it's going to get a rejection down, right? Just based on what these technicals here are showing me. So let me go to the weekly to start drawing some lines. Man, there's barely any lines to draw here, but I'll at least take the bottom of this guy. There we go. Good enough. And then let's come to the weekly. Sorry, let's come back to the daily. What did that give us? They gave us the top of that. You know, honestly, I'll take that. I'm going to go ahead and lower it just a little bit more to there. Pretty much lining up to that right now, right? Again, I very much would be interested over this. And I'll go ahead and set an alert for 39 cents. Let's just go down. If we can get over that 38, yeah, there's a lot of reason to believe we're going to work our way up, or at least work our way up to wherever the next line is, right? This is some good trading right here. Being down here and wondering if we're going to get over this, I wouldn't play with that. I would much rather just wait and go right there, right? Again, the next couple key lines, I'm going to draw that one right there, okay? Man, it sucks because there's not too much more I can draw, really. Then I got to draw that. Is that all-time lows on Sorento? Where does... I gotta go... Sorry, let me go to the monthly. Are we... yeah, that's definitely all-time lows. Look, I'm just going to do this real quick, okay? Once this was lost, you can see it, right? Once that was lost, that back-end all-time lows... Look how horrible it got. I say it on so many videos. All-time lows is the last place you want your money, okay? And man, it goes from $1.45 down to, I mean, at some point sub 18, right? So devastating to say the least. But yeah, it actually kind of seems like it's going to be working its way back down. So I would be careful. Again, sorry to zoom out instead of in. I know that RSI is 24. It still seems really low, but as long as it's under the 8, I really can't assume good things, you know? Obviously, I'd like some confirmation, but in a lot of ways, I don't need the confirmation because I've been under and I stayed under. You know what I mean? So it just... I'm not drawing this line because there are too many... let's just draw it, whatever. There's only so many lines here, and I'll throw that. I feel like 22 cents is really the next stop. It'd be really, really bad if 18 cents is lost. Spent a little longer time here than I wanted to. WINT. Okay, so look, this is definitely an interesting thing right here, okay? I have zero idea why this gap up happened. I'm not sure if the FDA approves something for these people or, you know, whatever it might be, right? Let me just tell, excuse me, let me just at least call out a couple things and then we're going to draw a few lines. Probably have to zoom out a little bit, right? So Really, I'm going to start down here. These two are beautiful. I love it when it looks like the green line wants to just keep going up while the red one's staying down. I love it that they both are pretty much looking that exact same way, right? This is definitely some interesting volume, and this is right here probably the most important thing, okay? Our 50 average on in the over the last 50 days, we've been roughly 600,000 people, or not people, but 600,000 shares are traded. All of a sudden, what did we get on this day? We got a little bit more, 700, right? You can see that 100K more made it look like that. Then literally we jumped to almost 150 million. Okay, this is 10x roughly, right? Like it's monstrous volume. Okay, if tomorrow drops to here, drops to here, drops to here, that's going to be real bad. I always say volume is king, and the worst thing you want is one big pop, because that will bring you the dump right after, the drop right after, right? So what am I also looking at here? You know what I'm looking at? I'm actually looking at more losers than winners, okay? I very much realize it's a green candle. I very much realize it says 47%, but look, some people, a lot of people, so many people, one person at least bought it all the way up here and watched it go all the way back down. You know what I mean? So I'm actually seeing a lot more losers on this day than winners. And look, I'm not here to make fun of them. I'm not here to like rub it in or anything like that. But this is actually a scary candle, right? I'm not a fan. I want it to just keep going up. I want this person to be so happy because he or she literally bought the last share right as the bell closed. Like literally everyone was dying to keep buying. You know what I mean? So I hate how big this is. You know what I mean? So again, that's a couple things, but really tomorrow's volume is going to speak volumes to this, pun intended, that I hope made you giggle a little bit, okay? The last thing I want is this thing to be around 70 million. The very last thing I want is this thing to be in the like 20s, 10s, or lower, right? Because it very easily can be. It normally is actually. As I keep zooming out, it for sure is only down here except for single spikes. Look, this thing has done it before. Big gap up, big wick up, and then just down, right? I mean, I don't know this stock. I'm telling you, I have no idea why this happened, but we'll draw a couple lines. Okay, that was important that it broke. That's cool. We're going to zoom out. So look, at this point, we're eating all this, and this plateau, look at that, also lines up with the 200, right? I haven't even talked about the moving averages yet, but I'm gonna take that candle. It's okay, perfect. It actually lines up with that. And then the next line will be, yeah, that one. And then that one. And I think this is a far enough view for us. Let me do one more zoom out. Yeah, okay. I'll take that and that. Okay, so look. And then let me go to the weekly. Is this thing at all-time lows after this? Man, for sure it is. Jesus. You saw how many lines I drew up, and I know that makes you think, oh man, this dude thinks it's going to go up a lot, right? Honestly, I'm going to put it right here because that's the more important line. Okay. Okay, let's do this. So this, okay, couple things. I would actually be really interested if this thing goes above where it closes. I'll set an alert for 26 cents. Let me know if it goes up, okay? First and foremost, an alert's not an intention to buy. It's just, it is what it is, okay? What really seems likely is this thing testing this 24 cent, which is around 50% candle. By then, it'll probably retest this. And honestly, I sincerely believe we're coming back down to 19. I know this looks good. I just don't believe that this thing's holding. You know what I mean? And again, I haven't looked at the news. I really wish I looked at the news before I'm making this video, but Best case, I do think this goes to 31, right? And that's why I set the alert, because look where we're at right now. We're in a nice little gap of red, 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 red until this little plateau right here where I drew the line that lined up with that, right? So, yeah, I would for sure love to know. And what's this one? Is this, that's 25. Yeah, we're actually, again, if we can get to 26, I'm more than happy to ride that to 31, okay? Again, if we can break 31, you see the other stack of red that brings us to that plateau right there, right? But the 200 is going to be hard. And look, just zooming out real quick, this has definitely been under the 100 for a very long time. And it's actually literally never been over the 200 since it lost it right here in 2001. So keep that in mind, all right? That 200 is no joke. And honestly, this 100 is no joke. And one last time, the last time we did this, and yeah, it was definitely a red candle versus this green candle, excuse me. But I promise you, that's not a beautiful red candle by any means, okay? So, what happens with this 100 really matters. And yeah, I do think we're going under it to this 18 even now that I said all that. So, if volume holds, I'm telling you, if volume's here or even higher, yeah, that's why I set my alert and I'd love to know, right? But there is more reason to believe it's going to, sorry, I'm zooming out to get this one. I feel like there's more reason to believe it's going to 18 than 39. But there's for real a good chance that this can go to 39 because, again, these recent runners kind of do some crazy things. And yeah, these two actually look good. 74 is a little high, right? But again, we've seen things in the 80s and the 90s, especially when they get the like volume that this one saw. So, hey, again, if you disagree with anything, throw it in the comments. If you know why this ran, if this therapeutic company can like, I don't want to make a bad joke, right? But yeah, if there's a reason for it, let me know. Otherwise, just letting you know what the lines say. Hey, have a great one.